I'm just glad we had that shot at the 100 freestyle in lane 8, because I don't know what would have it happen if we didn't get to the final in the 100, because that
Yeah.
was the turning point. I mean, that day was the turning point. When you went to my room, I was lane 8. I didn't think I made to the final. Like, you remember, I left the pool and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like,
Right.
fifth. I'm fifth in the first semifinals. 4 guys are gonna beat me in the next semifinal. I'm ninth, maybe 10th.
Yeah.
Like,
You
I'm
just
out.
picked up and left.
I was like, Brad, I'm out. Like, this is it. Like, the Olympic dream is over. Like, I'm fifth in my heat. Like, I'm done. Like, this is not gonna happen. Like, I'm out of the final. And the 100 freestyle, it's interesting how it works. It was the best race for me at that Olympics,
Mm.
because I was fourth at the World Championships in Melbourne a year before. And
Mm.
I mean, I remember just talking to Michael Klein. Like, you set me up to talk to Michael Klein before the race, and I remember looking at the podium with Manini, Britt Hayden, and Sullivan was there too in third. And I was like, man, I'm as good as those guys. Like, what do I have to do next year to reach that podium? And when I saw the semifinals, like, I remember going back and looking at you and just like, Brett, like, it's over. Like, the Olympic dream is over. Let's just focus on the 50 and see what we can do. And once we were leaving, I remember you talking to me like, hey, what about, how do you like lane 8? I was like, lane 8? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, just 3 guys beat you. Like, you're lane 8. And I remember, man, I had this crazy negative
Mm-hmm.
mindset at that time. I remember, oh,
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give
Mm-hmm.
me the lane 8, the lane of the losers.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
did. I remember you were so negative and so. I was so happy to tell you, hey, you made the final. You're in lane 8, and what I got back was like this negativity, like you were, like you were disgusted, and I was like, I was so like upset with the way that you were
Yeah,
responding.
I
I
remember
couldn't
that was
believe
the
it.
first time during the entire time, Brett, that I saw you just like, you were kind of sad or maybe a little disappointed with me.
Yeah,
Because I was like, yeah, awesome, lane 8. I was like, the lane of the losers, the lane of the shame. Like what is this? Like, nobody wins from lane 8. And I
yeah,
remember you looking at me like, no, like, this is not you. This is, I mean, just go back to your hotel, marinate in that
yeah.
negative mindset that you are right now. Just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, enjoy, the negatives.
Mm-hmm.
And you have an Olympic final tomorrow. I mean, just regroup, find a way to regroup. And I remember the day after, when we woke up, you went to my room. I was already awake, and I remember you threw me the the jacket for the podium.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Brad, like, what are you doing? Because it was funny, man. I had a dream that night that I got third, but I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody about it because I'm lane 8. Come on, I'm lane 8. Who gets a medal from lane 8? Nobody. And I dreamed I was third, and I was like, man, I dreamed I was third, and I woke up. I was like, what a dream! But I'm lane 8, man. This is never gonna happen. And I'm sitting there. You throw me the jacket, and it's like, hey, I'm taking the podium clothes for you. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, I'm lane 8, man. Let's wake up and wake up in a reality, like in a real world. Okay, this is not happening. And I remember, like, the turning point, man. It's funny how it works, because, like, I was so focused on that medal. Like, I wanted that, you know how much I wanted. Like, I didn't even know the color of the medal. Like, I didn't want it to win necessarily. Like, well, of course I wanted to win, but I was like, a bronze medal kind of like, it brings me everything that I want. Like, it kind of makes my career have a meaning,
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when we were walking to breakfast, like, I was like, man, like, I'm tired of how I'm swimming. Like, I'm tired. Like, I swam the relay, I swam the prelims, I swam the semifinals. I swam badly. Like, if I try the same routine, a fourth time is gonna be bad again. Like, I cannot do the same thing. Like, I'm not that dumb. Like, I'm not that stupid. Like, 3 times went bad, 4 times are gonna go. It's gonna go bad
Mm-hmm.
as well. I gotta change. And I remember that I started to do the warm up much different than I was doing before. I remember, like, I was doing like a longer swim, and you stopped me at the warm. I was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, man, I'm just listening to my body. Like, it feels like my body needs a 300 kick, a
Mm-hmm.
300 pull, and I don't know. Like, I need to swim more. I need to find a way to change. But the turning point was at breakfast, man, where Like you saw, like I wasn't comfortable at that morning, and you're just like, hey, you want to put in some headphones? Let's listen to some music. Like just stay like in your space. I was like, man, that's an awesome idea, because a lot of Brazilians were coming and tapping me in the back and all, and like, hey, you have a final today. Just like, hey, just put on your headphones and just let people know that you don't want to be disturbed. I was like, that's an awesome idea. So I put on the headphones, but I'm not listening to anything because my mind is exploding, man. Like once we were walking to breakfast, I was like, man, I'm tired. I feel like everybody has these moments, man, where just like, okay, enough is enough. I'm done being bad. Like I'm not that bad. I'm not a bad swimmer. Like, why am I lane 8? Like, why am I not swimming well? Like I'm seeing people going 47.2. I'm like going like crazy to go 47.9. Like, no, like this is not who I am. This is not my result. This is not what we worked for. You know, and the turning point was when I asked Brad. It's crazy. I was like, and I know it's gonna sound so simplistic, but it's the truth. I was like, what do I have to do? What do I must do to change? How do I unlock the guy that I know is inside of me? How do I get this guy out of me? And at that moment, man, like so many answers started to come up. Like I could change what I was going to eat for breakfast. I could change the warm up. I could change the race strategy. I could change maybe the underwater. Maybe go longer in the underwater of the turn. Maybe I could change, like we talked, like the pace of the breath. Maybe go 4 strokes to a breath and come back 2 to 1. Like I had so many options that I was like, man, I'm going insane. Like I need to find the right solution for this. And once we got to the pool, like I couldn't stop thinking. It felt like I don't know. I drank 10 Red Bulls at that morning, and it was only because of one question, man. It's crazy how our mechanism of thoughts work, because it's just what we're doing is just asking and answering questions. But what I learned that day is that you gotta ask quality questions. You gotta ask the right questions. And until that point, I was asking, what do I have to do to get a medal? What do I have to do to get a medal? Like, how I'm going to react when I get a medal? And it was like, what kind of question is that? Like, what do you get from it? And that morning, once I asked, what's the result I'm after? Like, what's the outcome? What's our outcome today? And then I started to find solutions, and I was like, man, like this is crazy. I gotta pick the right one. And I went to the pool. It was the first time, and I remember talking to you about it afterwards. I was like, I saw the starting block. It was the first time I actually thought of my start. I saw the water. I felt the water in my hands. I was so blind by the medal that I forgot I had to swim. I forgot that I had to touch the wall top 3 to get a medal. I was like, man, I'm good enough. I worked hard enough. I deserve a medal. Until that point, it was like, no, you got to earn the medal. And that question opened my eyes to, man, you got to do what you do best and take one step at a time and actually do the work. I mean, just see things as they are. Don't make them bigger. Don't rush things. And that question, man, I know it's crazy to think, such a simple thing can change our lives. But I was like, man, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to unlock my real potential that I know is inside of me? And that morning, the focus was completely different. Like I didn't think of the medal once. Yeah, I remember talking to you before the race, and I was like, look at that final. Like I was like, there are 3 guys that are amazing here that I don't think I can touch them. And there were Sullivan, Bernard, and Peter. And I was like, those 3, man, I felt like they were on a different level. And I told you, I was like, I'm gonna finish 4th. I think I'm gonna finish 4th today. And I remember you looking at me like, hey, like yesterday you were about to like destroy the lane 8. Now you're talking about being 4th. And I was like, yeah, I think that's what I have in my mind right now. And we didn't finish 4th. We finished 3rd. I mean, tied with Lisak. So it's crazy, man. But in the end, it's all about what you execute, what you do. In that moment, just taught me, how to talk to your mind, to your head, to really direct your thoughts, your focus to what matters, because in the end you got to execute, you got to do it. And thinking about the medal, it wasn't helping me at all. And that morning I was like, okay, think about your performance. And that's how it was interesting, because I left that pool with the bronze and I said on national TV, now I'm going to win the 50.
Oh yeah.
And I
No
remember
doubt.
telling you afterwards, and I was like,
Yeah.
Brad, like, oh man, I was way too excited, man. I think it's not good. I mean,
Mhm.
it's national TV, man. The bronze medal in the 100 in Beijing, like, it's a
Mm.
great example of like the level of standards that we were playing, because man, that result is one of probably the one that I like the most, even more than
Mhm.
the 50. That
Mhm.
100 is so special to me.